Star Wars Rebels: A World Between Worlds. While the other rebels engage the Imperial forces outside the Jedi Temple, Ezra gains access inside the Force portal and experiences a revelation. As always with my Rebels reviews, I point out my likes and dislikes of the episode. And because this episode was so good, I have actually more likes than dislikes, which I gotta say is rare. Number 1. Okay, just checking, but has anyone else's mind just been blown by this episode? Because if your answer is no, then you're lying. So who would have thought that Mortis would have played into Rebels by being something that could not only control the universe, but as well manipulate time and space as well? No wonder Palpatine was so interested in the Lothal Jedi Temple. Can you blame him? And hey, let's not forget about Ahsoka's return. And damn, just what a creative way of bringing her back, with it being Ezra who pulls her out to safety through the portal. Not only was this brilliant, but it made so much sense on how she was able to manage to survive the battle with Vader. And truth be told, now I'm curious to see where she's been these past 2 years. But I do understand why she couldn't interact with the Ghost Crew, as otherwise it would have prevented Ezra from ever saving her at all. Number 2. Qui-Gon, Alec Guinness's Obi-Wan, Yoda, Maz, Jin, Kylo Ren, Rey are probably only a few of the voices that I caught in the, let's call it the Force dimension. It was so chilling to hear all those voices from every single Star Wars trilogy, something that I never thought would happen on Rebels, and I loved every second of it. It was actually one of the several elements that I give this episode major Clone Wars vibes. Sure, the show gets these every now and then, but this one really delivered on that. And being a big Clone Wars fan, I couldn't be happier. Number 3. Well, what do you know, but was it just me that couldn't help but like that whole dynamic between Minister Varys and Sabine in trying to crack down the mystery of the Lothal Jedi Temple? Sabine first comes off as an annoying teenager, but after some old-fashioned Imperial encouragement, and it just becomes so interesting to see her working with an Imperial for real. That, and it was just fascinating to learn from Varys on everything the Empire currently knows about Mortis as well. I'm also kinda surprised that Palpatine lets people in the Empire even study the Jedi at all. And I know Varys Hayden is pretty high up there and all, but still, I don't know. Just feels like after Order 66, Palpatine would have wanted every little Jedi-related thing to be destroyed and never spoken about ever again. But I guess that's not the case and I have no problem with it. Number 4. That whole part of Ezra wanting to watch his master die all over again and accept that there is nothing that he could do. That's some powerful stuff right there. And you know, this will only make him stronger from this point on. Number 5. Papa Palpatine. We saw him this time in the flesh, and can I say just how creepy he was in this episode? I can honestly say that this was the scariest I've ever seen old Palps in any Star Wars medium. And just seeing Palpatine perform and conjure up some Sith alchemy to attempt to cross the portal was exhilarating, and really got my heart pumping. Something I can't say is the norm for the show. Now for my dislike, and really, like I mentioned, this episode is so good I only have one dislike this time. Number 1 and only one. I saw it and I have to call it out. But we got one of those lame Stormtrooper moments again in Rebels. Hundreds of Stormtroopers all around along with some Death Troopers, yet only 4 rebels in the area out in the open with no cover at all. Yet not a single Stormtrooper can land a blow, and the rebels manage to escape without even Ezra needing to ignite his lightsaber to block any shots. Yeah, I'm not buying it. Alright, overall, can someone please tell me how this episode wasn't the series finale? Come on, that had to be one of the best episodes of the entire series thus far. Absolutely brilliant all the way through without a single dull moment. And time travel is now a thing in canon too. The implications of this are just too large to handle, and I'm curious now to see how Star Wars will apply this in future stories, if they ever use it at all. It's way bigger than Luke Skywalker force projecting himself across the galaxy or Princess Leia flying through space, as there is now a mechanism in Star Wars where if someone can access it, they can change the course of any and everything. Which kinda makes me think, if Ezra was indeed the first person to actually ever access this type of power. Because what about Darth Plagueis? Imagine if this is how he saved his friends from death, and is why, among other reasons, that Palpatine was so interested in obtaining access to this realm. Hey, it's possible, as Palpatine knew exactly what that realm was, and it just needed information on how to enter it. But then again, I don't really see Lucasfilm ever letting a Sith have that kind of access to this type of power, but at least it's fun to think about. And that'll do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if so, drop a like to support the channel. Also, if you're looking for more Star Wars content, I'd recommend subscribing and hitting that bell notification so you can be notified whenever a new video is posted. As always, I'll see you on the next one.